Parking at West Liberty can be a hassle. Here are some tips to help you park safely and correctly on campus. First, always display your parking tag. Make sure to park in the correct parking lot. Follow the marked direction of travel. Don't park in visitor parking during the day. Don't park in no parking zones. Don't park in handicap parking. Never park in front of this door. Follow these tips and you'll never have parking problems or tickets again. This message is brought to you by West Liberty University.
Good afternoon, and welcome to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Aaron Warner.
And I'm DeJuan Jones. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop and in national and local news.
The United States suffered its 20th mass shooting in 2 weeks last Wednesday in Orange, California. The Orange County Police Department reports that there were 4 victims in the attack, with ages ranging from 9 to 50. According to CNN, police identify the suspect in the shooting as 44-year-old Amina Dab Gonzalez, who is currently in critical but stable condition. Officers arrived at the scene following 5 different calls made to 911 at around 5:34 p.m. on Wednesday and arrived to find the business complex building's courtyard locked from the inside. Orange Police Department spokesperson Jennifer M. Ott states, the preliminary motive is believed to be related to a business and personal relationship which existed between the suspect and all of the victims. This was not a random act of violence. Gonzalez faces 4 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder, and 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer. Gonzalez will also face felony enhancements for firearms and a premeditation charge.
Hundreds of families were evacuated after it revealed that the Piney Point Reservoir near Tampa Bay could be breached. A state of emergency was declared in Manatee County, Florida, due to the presence of toxic wastewater in the reservoir that may collapse. At least 316 homes were evacuated. The reservoir is located about 40 miles south of Tampa and could flood homes with up to 20 feet of toxic water if it collapses. The water consists of a mix of salt water, fresh water, and fertilizer runoff. Governor Ron DeSantis confirmed that the water is non-radioactive once faced with concerns regarding the placement of the ponds, which reside in phospho-gypsum, which is a solid radioactive byproduct of fertilizer manufacturing. A jail located a mile away has yet to be evacuated, and a natural gas plant in the region is also in the flood zone.
The trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is entering its 2nd week. Chauvin faces charges of 2nd-degree unintentional murder, 3rd-degree murder, and 2nd-degree manslaughter following the death of George Floyd. In response to the possibility of a hung jury or not guilty verdict, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar states, the community is on edge about that. We have seen justice not delivered in our community for many years. I think that there is a lot of confidence in Attorney General Keith Ellison and the prosecutors in this case, but we are all eagerly waiting to see how this trial shakes out. Lieutenant Richard Zimmerman of the Minneapolis Homicide Department testified against Chauvin on Friday and previously stated that he wholeheartedly condemned the actions of Derek Chauvin. Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to all charges he is faced with.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is under investigation into alleged sexual acts with minors and sex trafficking. Federal prosecutors are looking into whether Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz and a political associate from Florida may have paid underage girls or offered them gifts in exchange for sex. The investigation is looking at payments made by Gaetz to women and minors involved on payment apps like Apple Pay and Cash App. While Congressman Matt Gaetz denies that he ever paid for sex or has engaged in sexual activities with the minor, many former allies on Capitol Hill are now distancing themselves from the representative from Florida. Some lawmakers have even spoken out about how Representative Matt Gaetz would show them nude photographs on his phone of women he claimed to have sex with while in the chambers of Congress.
One officer has been killed and another has been hospitalized due to a man ramming his car into a security barrier near the United States Capitol building on Friday. The officer killed in the incidents was Officer William Billy Evans. The officer's loss is hitting the USCP hard after recently losing Officer Brian Sicknick in the recent Capitol riot and 2 other officers who committed suicide following the riot. Acting U.S. Capitol Police Chief Yogananda Pittman said in a news conference that at 1:02 p.m., a driver rammed his vehicle into 2 USCP officers near the Capitol and then continued to hit the barrier on Constitution Avenue. The suspect then exited the car while brandishing a knife and started lunging at other officers. Ignoring verbal commands, the officers shot the suspect, who died later at the hospital. The suspect has been identified as Noah Green, a 25-year-old from Indiana, whose motive is still being determined.
This past week, President Joe Biden announced his $2 trillion infrastructure bill. Among its many improvements to roadways in Biden's infrastructure bill included his plan to make America more electric by installing 500,000 electrical vehicles fast charging stations across the country. While many are praising the president for his support of electric vehicles, others are saying that this is an already outdated solution. Critics of the fast charging stations claim that instead the $2 billion being spent would be better spent on battery swapping stations instead of chargers. In nations where electric vehicles are more common, battery swapping stations are already commonplace. Battery swapping stations work by having robotics remove and replace the batteries in electric vehicles, much like replacing batteries in flashlight. While Biden's plan does not currently include battery swapping, many are hoping they can change his mind.
We'll be right back after the break with campus and local news here on Newsline 14.
Sources of stress are everywhere. Stress can make you feel trapped, but there are ways to manage it. Stress is inevitable, but you can learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, and how to respond to it well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, get emotional support, breathe, and find ways to calm down.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Let's take a look at your campus and local news. If you've been speeding through I-70, it's time for you to brake hard and slow down. With construction rapidly increasing, transportation officials are telling us to be aware of the speed limit because too many accidents have taken place. The flow of traffic can change at a moment's notice. Make sure your attention is fully on the road. WTRF Channel 7's Colin Roos wrote that District 6 engineer Tony Clark said that technology is the primary reason why drivers are distracted on the roads. Clark advises to keep those distractions to a minimum. Your safety is more important than a notification. Construction on I-70 and other routes will not be letting up anytime soon. Expect construction to mull over into the next year. Remember to keep your eyes on the road and take heed to construction zones.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's the annual superhero 5K run. Yep, you heard right. CASA is holding their 8th annual race, but this time it's in person. Say goodbye to virtual races and wave hello to a day where you can dress up as your favorite superhero and get a good workout too. The race will be held at the Highlands on April 17th Participants are to meet at the Quaker Steak and Lube restaurant at 8 in the morning. A fun run will be held for your children at 8:30, followed by a 5K race at 9. If you're feeling lonely, you can bring a canine companion with you. However, all pets must be trained and properly behave during the entire race. Pre-registration has already begun. The first 200 people to register will receive a free t-shirt. Also, those registered will get a meal from Quaker Steak and Lube. Pre-registration comes with the $30 charge. Day of registration will cost $40. Visit the website www.tristateracer.com to register to be a 5K superhero. Registration has begun for fall semester at West Liberty. Aaron Warner has more on this story.
We're getting to that point of the year where students are tasked to schedule their class for the fall semester, and it all starts here at Shaw Hall. West Liberty students who plan on coming back this next semester will have to meet with their advisor at some point before the year is over with. This will be the chance for you to decide what class you're taking for the next semester. So, what is some advice for freshmen about getting a hold of your advisor?
Definitely don't wait too late. Make sure you get a hold of them as soon as you can, as soon as you're able to start signing up.
How would you go about scheduling for the next semester?
Usually I just like to, before figuring out what I need to do, I hop on DegreeWorks and figure out what classes are mandatory and everything and try to get my gen eds out of the way. Luckily got them since I'm a senior now, and go talk to my advisor, make sure I got a game plan going on.
Now, what is some advice that you would give to the freshmen who don't have a major?
There's always help at Shaw Hall. There's Chris McPherson. He's a great guy that will always help you kind of figure out what you're trying to do here at college, and he'll help you get a hold of all your professors if you're unable to, and if there's any difficulties, he'll always be there for you.
This is a very important time of year for most students because this is what makes sure you will be attending college next semester. If you need any help registering for classes, just email Chris McPherson to receive advice. Thank you for watching Newsline 14. I'm Aaron Warner, and have a great rest of the week. Don't miss out on your chance to win $10,000. As a special partner offer from the WLU bookstore, you have the chance to compete against the best of the best when it comes to Fortnite. College students from around the country will compete against each other for the grand prize. The first place team can also win additional prizes on top of the money. This event is known as April Anarchy and is presented by Xfinity. The event kicks off on April 17th at 4 p.m. The top 3 teams who will be invited to what's called Code Red. From there, the winners will be revealed in the final rounds. To register, go to the AVGL website. Don't miss out on this great opportunity where you can play a video game for real money.
Do you have an interest in martial arts? Would you like to learn martial arts? If this sounds interesting to you, then maybe attending the Martial Arts Club is right for you. The Martial Arts Club will be meeting today from 8 to 11:30 p.m. The meeting will take place in the wrestling room, which is located in Blacknet. Students who join the meeting and club will have the chance to learn new techniques in martial arts as well as make friendships that will last for years to come. So come on into the wrestling room and learn a thing or two about martial arts, fellow Hilltop.
The WLU Foundation is launching their very first Make Your Top Remark program in the conjunction with the university's graduation fair. West Liberty's Assistant Director of Alumni Giving, Alexis Montes, says this program will give WLU seniors and final year professional students the opportunity to make their initial alumni gift to the foundation. According to Montes, many West Liberty experiences are funded by private donors, such as alumni. Senior students are not required to give initial gifts, but are encouraged to donate any monetary amount to an academic or athletic program of their choice. 100% of student donations will go directly towards their chosen programs. In addition, students will receive a WLU lapel pin, be entered in a WLU basket raffle, and receive a special letter from Montes. Seniors interested in donating to the Make Your Mark Topper Mark program can visit the WLU Foundation website.
The WLU Athletic Department is asking fans to familiarize themselves with the outdoor sports spectator policies. With the West Liberty University football team allowed to play games now, these are some rules intact for fans. West Liberty home games are completely closed to the general public. The attendance is strictly limited to families of the WLU players, coaches, and WLU employees. West Liberty students may also attend, but only up to 100 students. This is a first come, first served basis. All COVID safety guidelines must also be in place, such as mask and social distancing. Tailgating of any kind is also prohibited. No fans or family members from the visiting teams are allowed at any West Liberty home event. You can check out upcoming events and also live streams of games on hilltoppersports.com.
The recap symposium on the Hilltop occurred March 31st this year to highlight the academic achievements of students. The recap or research, creative activity, and performance symposium offered students the chance of friendly competition for the chance to win prizes based off of their academic success. Judging for this year's symposium is being completed today so that the committee can prepare the awards for the winners. A virtual ceremony will be held on April 14th this year in a virtual format. Anyone who is interested in attending this ceremony can do so through the Topper Station stream. Congratulations to all of the winners and great job to everyone who submitted their works to this year's recap symposium. We'll be right back. The sports update is coming up next here on Newsline 14.
The phone can wait. Don't text and walk.
Do you need to work on projects because a deadline is right around the corner? Then get into the Fine Arts Building. The Fine Arts Building hosts a myriad of amenities such as computer, painting, printer, couch, lights, no lights, audio including this voiceover, instrumenting, table, more computers, so many computers, the theater, printmaking, creating and animating in 3D, drawing still life, chairs, broadcast operation and execution, and it's open almost all the time. Come in early, come in late. Don't come in at all if you want a bad grade. If you need stuff done, visit the Fine Arts Building. Fab is in its name.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's Joel Porter with sports.
Kicking things off with national sports this week, the National Hockey League has been operating the 2021 season with a separated division format, mainly by the United States and Canada border. Due to concerns over COVID-19, the Canadian government and National Hockey League agreed that all 6 of the Canadian teams would only play other Canadian teams during the 2021 regular season. However, despite this precaution, the Vancouver Canucks now have 16 of their 22 active players quarantined or infected due to contracting the Brazilian variant of COVID-19. As of now, the National Hockey League and Vancouver Canucks have been in tight communication to make sure the outbreak is contained. The Canucks' upcoming games have been canceled over this outbreak in hopes of being rescheduled once the surge is over. This comes amid rising cases in Canada, as well as some lockdowns being reinstated. The Wheeling Nailers were back in action for another 3-3 series this week. On Thursday night, the Nailers took to the ice at West Banco Arena to face the Jacksonville Icemen. This is the first time the Icemen had made their journey to Wheeling, and it was one trip they would hope to forget as they fell 5-3. The Nailers then hit the road to face the Indy Fuel. The Fuel had led the season series 10-3, but the Nailers would come out on top as they defeated the Fuel by a narrow score of 2-1. Finally, on Saturday, the Nailers traveled to Fort Wayne to take on the Comets. Despite having the home ice advantage, the Comets let the victory slip as the Nailers won by a final score of 6-3. This is the first time in this season the Nailers have won 3 games in a row. They will be back in action tonight at West Banco Arena as they take on the Comets at 7 p.m. Now let's take a look at an athlete spotlight where Ian Phillips talks with football player Dwan Jones about life on and off the field.
How many of you know a topper athlete on campus? Well, during these unprecedented times, we're going to take a closer look into our athletes on campus here at Newsline 14. Dwan Jones is from Steubenville, Ohio, where he was a part of the undefeated state champions Steubenville Big Red football team.
West Liberty because foremost I was at Youngstown State and I was redshirted there. Things didn't go as I planned there, so I emailed a lot of schools and West Liberty was one of them that emailed me back and said they wanted me here to play. So I came here. Yes, I am looking forward to next season. Next season I feel like we're going to come out and actually be ready to play. This season we didn't really get enough chances to actually practice really, and we all get the chance to bond because we really didn't have camp, and in camp we get team bonding and everything. So I feel like next season, when we come back in the fall, it'll be great. This summer, I'm looking forward to just working and getting my body back right and everything else. And my plans for the future, I hope to keep playing football, but if that's not happening, then I hope to be a CEO or try to go into the broadcasting performance and try to be a weatherman or something.
Dwan currently is a sophomore majoring in business communications and is a starting nickelback for our Hilltopper defense. Now we know a little bit more about Dwan Jones, an athlete on the Hilltop. I'm Ian Phillips here on Newsline.
The West Liberty baseball team had a rough weekend as they faced 2 of the best teams in the conference on consecutive days. In their first game on Friday against West Virginia State University, the Hilltoppers lost by the score of 6-4. In the loss, Jason Schutte had 2 hits, including a 3-run home run and a double. Brian Campbell also had 2 hits with a double. The Hilltoppers dropped the next game by a score of 13-2. On Sunday, the Hilltoppers squared off against the University of Charleston, but dropped 2 more games by the scores of 9-0 and 10-1. The Hilltoppers would hope to rebound as they welcome Notre Dame College to the campus of West Liberty on Saturday and Sunday this upcoming weekend. Make sure to come out and support. All right, welcome to this week's edition of Hilltopper Highlights. This week we are talking about the West Liberty women's softball team who started their doubleheader against Frostburg State Strong on Friday with a 5-0 victory. This MEC game started out with the Toppers taking the early lead. With bases loaded, sophomore Annie Patterson singles to left field, bringing home the first 2 runs. The second inning saw much of the same result for the Toppers, as 2 more runs were brought home. The first being after fielder errors on Frostburg's side, followed by junior Kat Donzella's huge triple to right field, bringing home another. West Liberty holds off Frostburg for 2 more innings as we see the Toppers score yet again. With the pressure of 2 outs and 2 strikes, number 15 junior Laurel Saunders hits a deep double into center field, putting the Toppers in scoring position, then stealing third. Kat Donzella steps back up to the plate, hitting a stinger up the middle, bringing Saunders home for their only run in the 4th. This brings the score to what would be the final of 5-0. Patterson dominated the mound for West Liberty, only allowing 1 hit and no walks, with 10 strikeouts on the day. Mackenzie Ahmed followed by shutting out Frostburg with another 6 strikeouts on the day. Donzell led the Toppers on offense with a total of 3 hits, 1 of which was a triple and 2 singles, and 2 RBIs, followed by Patterson with a pair of singles and a couple of RBIs as well. Laurel Saunders and sophomore Caitlin Blair round out your game leaders with 1 hit apiece. The Toppers moved to 9-9 on the season, with their next game being this afternoon at Wheeling University. That's all for this week's edition of Hilltopper Highlights. After a 2-day run at Tannenhof Golf Course, the West Liberty men's golf team finishes in second place at the Malone Spring Classic. The Toppers showed up to play, holding off Lake Erie and West Virginia Wesleyan, but falling just short of the host Pioneers. Howard Peterson and Alex Eastham had top 5 finishes, with Peterson tying for second place with a 2-day total of 6 over par, 150. Eastham sees a similar result with a 2-day total of 151, just one shot back from his teammate. Malone's Connor Curry took home the gold as he shot a tournament best 4 under par 68 on Saturday and capped off the Classic with a 1 under par 143. The West Liberty men's golf team hopes to continue their season on a high note. This is their second number 2 finish in 2 weeks. For more stats and information, visit hilltoppersports.com.
We'll be right back. Weather with Ian Phillips is coming up next on Newsline 14.
The Paul N. Elwin Library is your destination for learning. Featuring over 200,000 items in print, audio, and video formats. Students have access to search for books of all kinds. Our state-of-the-art egg chairs give the user an immersive experience. We offer both Macs and Dells for your convenience. Please be sure to follow all signs. Our hours are Monday through Thursday 8 to 11, Fridays 8 to 4, Saturdays are closed, Sundays 5 to 11. Our friendly staff will assist in finding the right study material for you, whether it's a physical copy or on the school's database. The Paul N. Elbin Library at West Liberty University. Please call 304-336-8261.
Welcome to West Liberty University's Wellness Center, located in the Academic Sports and Recreation Complex building. Here you will find a safe and friendly atmosphere, clean equipment for all types of training, free weights, machines, and now introducing a new speaker system. Does school have you stressed out? Are you trying to get fit for those warmer days? The Wellness Center has you covered. We are now offering free personal training for West Liberty students. Start the year off the right way at West Liberty University's Wellness Center.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's Ian Phillips with the weather update.
Currently on the hilltop, we are sitting at a nice warm 75 degrees. The nice spring weather has finally come back around after a few colder days last week. Today we are looking at a high of 79 degrees in the afternoon, with our low of today at 55 degrees. In the evening, we will be sitting at a comfortable 60 degrees, but now the sun is out, and with only 5% chance for rain today, go out and enjoy this nice weather. That will do it for your Hilltop Campus weather update. Now let us take a look across the United States map for weather across the nation. Today, out west in Los Angeles, we are sitting at 70 degrees with sunny, clear skies out in LA. Beautiful. Over in Denver, Colorado, as you see, is 49 degrees. A little bit chillier temperatures. Now, down south in Texas, the weather looks promising with temperatures in the 70s with a chance of rain. Now moving back up to Chicago, Illinois, it is sitting at 72 degrees with a chance of rain. Once more back down south, we go down to Miami, Florida, where the weather is flawless with the sun out and 78 degrees. Next, we look back up to the OV, Ohio Valley, where temperatures are sitting at 75 degrees. Finally, wrapping up a look at the weather across the United States, up in the Northeast, New York, the Big Apple, is sitting at 64 degrees. And that will do it for your campus weather and weather across the United States here on Newsline 14.
We'll be right back. The 5-day forecast is coming up next.
Going off to college can be an exciting yet stressful time for students. It's great to know you can bring all your knowledge to college. There's one thing you should know before you leave that some people forget. Microwave safety is something everyone should know. Remember to read instructions carefully and watch the microwave in order to avoid any disasters.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's Ian Phillips with a 5-day forecast.
Spring weather has arrived with its nice weather to then rainy, cold days. So let's look what it has in store for the next 5 days. Tomorrow, Thursday, has a high of 81 with a low of 56 with a 50% chance of rain. Friday, a high of 76 degrees and a low of 56 with a 35% chance of rain and some thunderstorms. Watch out. Saturday, a high of 80 degrees with a low of 53 degrees with 47% chance of rain. On Sunday, a high of 62 and a low of 50 with a 33% chance of rain, which will be the coldest day out of the 5 days. And finally, wrapping up the 5-day forecast on Monday with a high of 69 degrees and a low of 49 with a 24% chance of rain. That's what's going to do it for the 5-day forecast here on Newsline 14. I'm Ian Phillips, and that is your weather update.
Thank you for watching this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Aaron Warner.
And I'm DeJuan Jones. Have a great week.